Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melody, and today I will finally be showing you my 2023 yearly bullet journal spreads, as well as January 2023 spreads. So yeah, let's get started. This is actually a new bullet journal. I think it is so pretty. I got it from Amazon. I will definitely have this bullet journal linked down below in case you're interested. But let's get started. I am going to start with the title page for 2023. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was very uninspired when it came to what theme to use for my yearly spreads this year. I feel like last year I just knocked it out of the park, and I loved my spreads from last year so much that it really kind of uninspired me this year because I didn't feel like I'd be able to top it, you know what I mean? But luckily I did come up with a theme, and you'll see it come together here very soon. Overall, the color of this theme is going to be purple or lavender, very much the color of the cover of my bullet journal. This new bullet journal really inspired me to make these spreads purple. So basically it's a purple themed spread with the addition of these little black fuzz balls, which, if you haven't already guessed, they are soot sprites. If you don't know what a soot sprite is, then you must not be a Studio Ghibli fan, is all I'm gonna say. These little creatures, I believe they were invented by Hayao Miyazaki himself. Not sure on that one, but these are featured in a couple of his films. So if you're a Studio Ghibli fan, this one is for you. If you're Hayao Miyazaki stan like I am, then you're gonna love this theme as much as I do. Basically, it's a very simple purple theme with the addition of these cute little soot sprites on the page to just add a little something something, keep it cohesive, that sort of thing. For this title page, I'm keeping it very simple, and if you watched last year's yearly spreads, you'll see that this year's isn't much different. The only change is the color purple, really, and the addition of the soot sprites. So yeah, I like I said, I was struggling to be creative this year, but anyway, I've broken out my little text stamp set and I am adding in a little, it's not even a quote, it's kind of a mantra, I guess, on the left side of the page here to fill that space. Basically, I recently listened to a book about how to make this upcoming year different or better than last year, and one of the ideas that was repeated in this book is that good thoughts lead to good feelings, lead to good actions. I know that sounds overly simple, but I do think that there is some merit to this idea, because if you can start your day by simply having good thoughts, being grateful, that sort of a thing, you will feel happier throughout your day. You'll be more positive. And if you're happier and you're more positive, you are far more likely to be productive, to get stuff done, to reach your goals. And it all starts with our inner thoughts, our inner monologue. And trust me, I know it can be nearly impossible some days to control your thoughts. It can be very, very hard, but that is something I'm trying in this new year. I'm just trying to be more mindful and positive in my thinking. At the end of the day, there is very little we can control in this crazy world, but one thing we can control is our thoughts. And that's sort of, just kind of my mantra, my goal throughout this year. Anyway, I've gone on a huge spiel. We are way past that title page. So I'm currently working on my future log. This is very, very similar to my future log from last year, and basically this spread is just housing all the months of the year, so I have all the dates at hand, ready to go, to quickly flip back to whenever I need to throughout the year. And yeah, I have this like mini book within a book thing going on here where I just cut, you see what I'm doing, I cut around this shape on one of the pages to make a little door or a flap that I can use to make a mini book within a book, is what I like to call it. Anyway, and I do that so that I can fit all 12 months in the same spread, essentially. Also, it's really fun, it's very easy to do, and I think it just elevates the feeling of using this page more. But yeah, it's very, very simple. The hardest part is just making sure you cut at the right place, that sort of a thing. But yeah, I'm just doing some calligraphy for my title, Future Log, and now I'm filling in the dates to all the months. I did make my calendars a little bit bigger this year than I did last year, just so they were easier to see. And that's pretty much it. This is a very simple spread. It's just my year at a glance. I use this spread to write down any important dates, mark any appointments, that sort of a thing. But yeah, it's a really handy tool to have in my bullet journal. Now I'm just adding a couple little soot sprites to the corners. It's the only thing that I really illustrate for these pages, and it's super easy, super quick. I also illustrate their little candies, the things that they eat. I don't know for sure what they are, but they look like little candies, and I've always wanted to try one, even though they're probably fictitious. Anyway, moving on. This page is going to feature my goals list, my gift list, and my wish list. I made a page like this last year. It was very helpful, I will say. I thought that having a wish list and a gift list was kind of a game changer, especially when it came to Christmas time. I already had some ideas written down that I had kept throughout the year. The only thing that's different about this spread from last year's is that I made the gift list section the biggest section. That is because I ran out of room last year, and I wanted to break my gift list up into smaller sections so that each person in my life that I plan on getting a gift for would have their own little, section where I can write ideas. So yeah, I hope that's helpful this year. And now you can see me drawing the little candies I was just talking about. They're very, very simple to draw. It's just kind of like a wonky 5-point star with a little point or squiggle in the middle, and it looks just like the candies in Spirited Away. So yeah. And by the way, I'm just using some other pastel colors like pink, blue, green, and yellow for the little candies, and this spread is done. And now we're on to my monthly highlights spread, which again is very similar to my spread from last year, which had the same goal in mind. And that goal is to have a place where I can post a picture from each month of the year, a picture of something I consider a highlight from that month. And it's a good way to just, be able to look back at the year, at all the fun things you did. And I really liked doing it last year, so I definitely wanted to do it again this year. And by the way, this spread also features the book within a book thing. This one's a little bit different than the one in the future log. This one does not go all the way to the bottom. You do have to cut around 3 sides of the paper instead of 2, like in the future log. I don't know if that makes any sense. Basically, this little book is just a little bit smaller. And yeah, here I'm making the tabs, which is probably the trickiest part, cutting out those tabs and making sure they're in the right spot. But now I'm just coloring with purple. I pretty much shade in these pages all purple except for the outer border. I leave white. I did the same sort of thing last year. I like how it looked, so here we go again. now I'm using those stamps again to stamp in the titles for each month. I really like using these stamps. It adds, you know, good texture, nice interest, and all that kind of stuff, a different font. The only thing is you have to really make sure to let the ink dry because it doesn't dry super fast, and I smudged it quite a bit this month, but no, that's okay. Now I'm going on with the soot sprites again, just in between on kind of the crease here. They're just so freaking cute. They're really fun to do and super, super easy. And I make a couple of these guys on each page of the book within a book. And now we are on to a totally new, never seen before spread. This is going to be my mood tracker spread, and I am doing another kind of book within a book, but this one feels more like a bottom tab that you can flip through because it is just like the bottom quarter of the page that will be able to flip through. You'll see when I start to color it in what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to see right now, but yeah, this is my mood tracker. Here I am just writing in that title real quick. Now you can start to see how small that little flip book on the bottom is. So I made it that way because I wanted to be able to see my scales no matter what month I was filling in. Does that make sense? Because my months are on the little flip book on the bottom and the scales are above. So I actually have two scales that I'm using to track my mood and to track my energy. Here I'm just making my months on a little bit smaller of a scale calendar than I did on my future log. And I'm working on coloring in my mood scale right now on the right. My mood scale is going to be determined by color each day. So basically I will fill in each day with a color depending on my mood. And it's basically a color wheel. Happy, sad, and mad are primary colors, and anything that's kind of in between those is a secondary color, with meh being white. And then on the left side there you can see my energy scale, which is a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being exhausted and 5 being full of energy. So each day will get a number and a color. And I'm very interested to see how much my energy correlates to my mood and vice versa. I'm sure there will be patterns. I just don't know about them yet, you know what I mean? But this is a totally brand new idea for me. I've never had a mood tracker before. I totally made this one up, so I hope it works. Now with this spread all done, I hope you can see my goal and what I was going for with that page. I think it's low-key kind of genius, but we'll see how it works throughout the year. And now it's a different day and a different set of spreads. So we are going to be working on my January 2023 spreads now. And as you can see, I've already got a black sheet of paper inserted there on the left of my title page. I'm doing that because here I go with some metallic gel pens. Here I'm using the color silver, and I'm just doing these drapey kind of crystal drawings. I don't have a title for this yet. I don't know what they're called. They're just drapey crystals. I don't know, guys. But that's essentially the theme for January, is pretty. I don't know. Basically, I wanted a very simple, effective theme for January. I didn't want anything too flashy. I had just done my yearly spreads. I was tired, so this was pretty much the simplest thing I could think of, and it is so easy. You essentially just do some half circles, aka drapey horizontal lines on the top, and then you drag some vertical lines down and put a little star at the bottom. and you can put little beads, quote unquote, if you will, along the lines if you want, like I did, just to add some more detail. And it is so simple and it's so effective and pretty. I filled the little stars in with blue and pink metallic pen, and yeah, that's about it. As you can see, I just did the title January in cursive. I got my days red written down. I've got my calendar in there. Super quick. This is one of the easiest, quickest themes I've ever done. And there on the left I had some blank space, so I put a quote. This quote is actually by a woman named Melody as well. Melody Beatty, I think. It says, "The new year stands before us like a chapter in a book waiting to be written," which I thought was the perfect quote for the month of January. And there you have it. That is my spread number 1, my Days Red spread. And now we are moving on to the next page, which is my Books Read spread, where I keep track of all the books I read in the month of January. I typically read 6 books a month, so you can see my 6 little slots I've got going on there. And you will see me do these drapey crystals throughout. Obviously it's the theme. I'm doing them on every page. So again, so simple, so pretty. You can't do it wrong. Truly you can't. It's pretty foolproof. And as you can see, now I'm labeling each box 1 through 6. I have a line for the author, a line for the title of the book, and a space down below for a short synopsis, my feelings about each book. I do this every month. If you're new here, that's a little rundown for you, but if you've been here before, you know the rundown. I do this every month. This is my reading bullet journal. I don't even know if I said that in this video yet, but this bullet journal essentially tracks my reading goals for the most part, besides, the spreads at the beginning of the year. They track, more personal things. I wrote Books Read down at the bottom with my metallic pens, and we are moving on. Very quick and easy. This next page is going to have my goal tracker and something new that I've never tried before. So here on the left side, this is going to be my goal tracker. It's where I put the month written down 3 or 4 times. I'm going to try to track 4 different goals this year, so 4 different calendars of the month of January, and for each day I complete my goal for whatever it is. I'll just color in that day. It's really simple. And then there on the right, I'm going to try more weekly planning. So I have the whole month over there with boxes that are a little bit bigger for each day that I can maybe write something really small, really quick on the days of the week, just to have a little bit more semblance of a routine, of a schedule, of a planner, that sort of a thing. I was never good at filling out my planner daily in high school or college, so I didn't want to make it feel like a planner because I already know I'm not good at that. But I did want to give myself a teeny tiny area for each day this month where I could jot something down if I needed to. If I wanted to plan a little bit more intricately, I could do that now. We'll see how it goes. Now we're on to the 4th and final spread for January. There on the left is going to be my idea dump page, and on the right is going to be my favorite book for the month of January. Again, this is very similar to what I did last year, bringing in those drapey crystals again, and I do have another black paper page there on the right this time, just to tie back in with that title page. Also, it's really fun drawing with metallic pens on black paper. It just really stands out, really makes it pop, and it adds interest. So yeah, highly recommend doing some black paper in your bullet journal if you haven't already. But other than that, this is the simplest spread of them all. I'm pretty much just finishing up the little drapey crystals again. I leave the idea dump side very blank so I have room to scribble down any ideas throughout the month. And of course, I'm leaving space on the right side so that I can paste a picture of whatever book becomes my favorite book in the month of January. And that is it, guys. It is finally time for the final flip through. I'm really happy with how these 2023 yearly spreads turned out. Again, there's a little bit of smudging from the ink not quite drying when I closed and opened the book, but I really like it. The touches of metallic gold really add to these spreads, and of course, the soot sprites, the most simple addition, makes the biggest difference. I just love seeing the future log all done and filled out. It is so satisfying flipping through the little book within a book and seeing all those details that I, painstakingly added in by hand. Bullet journaling, it's a labor of love. Nobody ever said it was easy. It would be so much easier to go out and buy a pre-printed planner, but I am telling you, there is no better creative outlet and nothing more rewarding than bullet journaling yourself. I am very excited to finally fill out this page, get some goals written down, and try out my new idea for that gift list, see if it helps sort out my planning this year for gift giving. And yeah, very beautiful, stunning, simple page. My monthly highlight page is another spread that is very satisfying to flip through, the little book within a book. I just love seeing those little soot sprites on each page. It's so sweet and cute. What more can I say? If you're looking for a simple and easy theme this 2023, then look no further. Soot sprites are the way to go. Now on to my new mood tracker spread. This is one of those spreads that took a while to figure out and to plan, but I am really happy with the result. I think I did a good job. I love that the months are on the bottom and I always have that scale able to see as I'm filling out the months, no matter what month it is. And there you can see I started to fill out January with my moods and my energy, and I can already foresee how easy it will be to look back on the months throughout the year to see my mood, see my energy levels, and see how they correlate. I'm very excited for this spread. And now we're jumping to January's final flip through. Once again, this is by far one of the easiest themes I've ever come up with. It's pretty much just drapey crystals, silver, blue, pink, and black, and it doesn't get much simpler than that. And yet, I still really like it. I'm happy. I can't complain. These close-up shots always come in handy. They really show the true colors, the true metallicness of the pens I used. They're my favorite. As you can see, I made a small addition to my goals page. Down there on the bottom, I have a black piece of paper that says, "Goals give our life direction." It's another quote by the same woman who I quoted on the title page. Just threw that in there, and that's pretty much it. That wraps up that page beautifully. And last but not least, the idea dump in January fave, the simplest spread to end the video. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me plan out my 2023 bullet journal. It was so much fun. I hope I gave you some good ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I hope to see you in February's video. Bye!